and more with John Brown and Nick Durst, live on the UCY.TV network.
Right. Welcome to Sports, Politics, and More. I am your host, Nick Durst, and I'm joined, as usual, by John Brown. John, are you there? I guess John is not there. However, we will have a lot to talk about. And while this game's going on, while the show's going on, we have the National League wildcard game in Major League Baseball. And it's going to be all about the Mets tonight for the most part of the show. So, hopefully, for those of you that like sports, you'll enjoy this show. If not, well, too bad. We'll also talk a little bit about the NFL and the Jets and the Giants. But as soon as John gets on here, we will be discussing the amazing New York Mets.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, John, you there? What's going on?
Yeah, not much. Sorry about that. I had my microphone muted, so I was talking to myself.
All right, well, luckily the listeners were able to hear us, and you're with us now. Is that right? All right, maybe you muted your microphone once again. So, John is having some technical difficulties.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I have the Mets playing in the back.
All right, and John is once again lost. Geez, John, something's going on with your phone system, but hopefully we'll get you back in a second. Hello?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, you keep cutting out. Is everything all right over there?
Yeah, it's. I have the Met game playing as well. I think that's what's doing it.
On your phone?
Yeah, I'm playing. I don't have on cable near me. I get the Phillies, so I have to watch the game on my Met. I have to watch the Mets on my phone.
Oh, the game's on ESPN though. You should probably have it.
Oh yeah, probably. But it's fine. I'm all set up. I'm all ready.
All right, interesting that you get the Phillies, which sucks, but they're not playing, so obviously you won't be getting them anytime soon. So yeah, like I was saying to our loyal listeners out there, you can give us a call tonight if you'd like at 718-717-8296, or write to us in the UCY lobby chat. Tweet us. I'm at Nick_Durst. John is at SS_sports. But it's going to be a very Mets-centric show tonight, so let's go Mets. Once again, the NL wildcard game's going on. We're just moments away from first pitch here. John, how do you see this one playing out? And, of course, we'll be giving some sort of play-by-play throughout the hour of our program.
So if you looked at the general pitcher versus pitcher, Bumgarner and Syndergaard, which I did today, obviously Bumgarner's a lefty, and he has a ton of playoff experience. But overall the year numbers are very similar, but you got to give the edge to Syndergaard. Syndergaard actually has an ERA that's almost a point lower than Bumgarner's. So starting pitching and closer, I'm giving the edge to the Mets. But
all right, so obviously John is still having some phone issues.
a little bit of can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the function key keeps turning my microphone off. So.
And there you go again. All right. So obviously something's wrong with John's microphone or computer and Skype as well. But as he was talking about the pitching matchup, Syndergaard had a good year. As of late, he wasn't really that dominant, but long year. Bumgarner, though, is just incredible in the playoffs. He's got a career 5-1 record with a 0.60 ERA, including a save in Game 7 of the World Series 2 years ago against the Giants, which was insane. And the guy can rake. He is a phenomenal hitter as well. And the last time the Mets faced Bumgarner was in San Francisco, and Bumgarner actually hit a home run off Syndergaard. Crazy.
So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry about that. That's actually... So the blame goes to Dell. Dell has this stupid thing where they try to
All right, and there he goes again. All right, so it's basically going to be quite an interesting show with... I guess it sounds like me talking to myself most of the time.
What I'm trying to do is turn my mic off every so often. I don't know why.
Turn my mic on! Come on. So the Giants tonight, I think they have the advantage over the Mets because of Bumgarner. And he's 4-0 in his career against the Mets at Citi Field. He beat them earlier in the season at Citi Field. He also beat them in San Francisco. And like I was saying, he did hit a home run off Syndergaard.
When was that home run, though?
When was the home run?
Yeah.
Like the last time the Mets played the Giants this season in San Francisco.
Oh, so I figured out what's going on with my mic. So Dell this is supposed to be for like a go-to-meeting nonsense, but when I'm not talking, it's supposed to turn the mic off so there's less background noise. But in reality, that just makes it harder to pick up when I start talking because it picks up in the middle of the sentence. Very stupid idea.
All right, so we'll have to keep you busy talking there, and I'll pose a short question. So what's your prediction for this game? Obviously, the Mets have the better bullpen, so if somehow the Mets can get into the Giants' bullpen, it'll be good because the Giants have blown 30 saves this year. I repeat, 30. That's 3-0, which is like almost hard to imagine. And if they can get to the bullpen, great. But I think Bumgarner's going 8-9 innings here tonight.
Now, I would have to agree with you for the most part because Bumgarner. But the real difference that I have is the fact that when you look at this Mets team, we need some Mets magic if we're going to make it past this game into the Cubs. So, that's it. We just need to hit.
Yeah, and the Mets, if they don't hit a home run, they don't win. And I got a bunch of lefties, and I don't think they're going to hit a home run. So it's not looking good. And it's really going to come down to whether or not Cespedes could hit a home run tonight.
So what do you think about Cespedes and his new with the Mike Piazza hair?
Oh, and Dynasty. Well, Reyes and Cabrera and Jeremy Blevins got Cespedes to dye his hair blonde for tonight's game. I don't know about that. Hopefully it works like it did for them. But, no home run from Cespedes. They're probably likely not winning this game. I unfortunately think the Giants are going to win this game. What about you?
I think that the Mets have some, lightning in the bottle. The fact that they even got here with everyone that they lost. I'm going with the Mets, but Mets magic, bottom of the ninth, walk-off home run by pitch hitting Lucas Duda or something ridiculous.
Duda isn't even on the roster. Thank goodness. I got in a fight on Twitter with this idiot Mongo yesterday because he was telling me that Duda is a great defender, so much better than James Loney. And I'm like, are you an idiot? Like, Duda made 2 errors on 1 play Sunday. That's really hard to do. Plus, let's not forget how great he is at throwing the baseball.
it's who's on the bench for the Mets tonight?
All right, I don't know what you were saying. All I made out is the bench. The bench tonight is two catchers, Garneau and Plawecki. Wonderful Ty Kelly on the bench. Kelly Johnson. You also got Alejandro Bamaza and Michael Conforto and Juan Lagares.
The Giants have to have the edge on the bench.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, they just I think they have the edge, unfortunately. So before this game starts, which is going to be crazy, the first time the Mets are in the playoffs 2 years in a row since the 1999-2000 series under Bobby Valentine, only the second time in club history. And who do you have in the World Series?
Well, I'm sticking with all of my initial predictions at the beginning of the season. For the most part, they didn't come true, but I'm going Mets. I'm going Mets, Red Sox, redo of 85.
I thought you had the Giants in the World Series.
Did I?
Yeah, I thought, well, I don't know. I know we definitely both had the Mets versus Giants in the NLCS. I had the Giants defeating the Blue Jays in the World Series, and I'm unfortunately going to stick with that prediction for now.
How great was that walk-off home run with the Blue Jays the other night? That's like some, Disney movie stuff. I love that.
Honestly, We Are the North, the Rogers Center, it is rocking every time there's a game there. I think that's the hardest place to play in baseball as a visiting team.
You'd really have to think that, that they've really done, their due diligence up there. They're a really good ball club. I think they might have it. I think they're really good to go.
Yeah, I think the Blue Jays' offense is just phenomenal, and I think they're going to just run the hot hand and get to the World Series. I definitely think it's going to be they're going to be in the ALCS. I think they'll definitely beat the Rangers again, and hopefully Roughneck Odor just isn't a little punk again like he is with Batista. And Batista had a great home run. Hopefully he has some nice bat flips in the series as Noah Syndergaard strikes out Denard Span to start the game.
Shit, I'm on a delay.
Oh, man. All right, I'll let you give the play-by-play then.
Depending on if I hear screaming or not, I'll know what's going on.
Yeah, I'll try to be quiet, but I don't know. Yeah, I haven't been this nervous for a game since, the Rangers were in the Stanley Cup. Well, actually, I lied, since the Mets were in the World Series last year, but, I kind of knew they were going to lose after they went down early. So, I'm very nervous for this game.
I'm really nervous. Sort of shit the bed,
You're going to have to repeat that one more time. It got totally cut out.
I hope that the Mets don't come out here and embarrass themselves and, really shit the bed.
Well, let's hope so. The problem is here, I'm just so worried about the Mets offense that Syndergaard, who has been known to give up a long ball here and there, gives up a home run, and that's it.
There's definitely an opportunity for that. When the guy throws so hard that if you do catch up with it, you can drive it a long way. But unlike, say, Benitez, where he gets into a bad problem, if he doesn't try to strike everybody out.
Well, we will see here. Hopefully they can keep it together. But what do you think about that guy that I was arguing with, saying Lucas Duda is a superior defender over James Long?
Lucas Duda, hot getting contest.
All right, folks. Now John has got some buzzing noise over there. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone out there in almost Philadelphia. We apologize for the audio difficulties we're experiencing here this evening. So, as we go to the bottom of the first, we're in the top of the first here with the Mets, and you have the San Francisco Giants and the Mets 0-0, tie, obviously, and there's 2 outs with Buster Posey up at the plate. Now, for those of you that don't know this, I went to NYU for grad school, and one of our projects we did, or I did for my graduate thesis, would you say, was a study on can you predict postseason success or not? And we came to the conclusion you really can't, but in the study, interestingly enough, Buster Posey, who is a 3-time World Series champion and a former MVP, and probably the best player on the Giants, ends up being one of the worst offensive catchers in playoff history. It's truly, truly shocking that that could actually happen. But it's true. The best player in history overall offensively would be Daniel Murphy. Can you believe it? I mean, it's pretty crazy, but it is the truth. And, yeah, it's just
do you think
stellar.
he got robbed by not getting the MVP this year?
What about Daniel Murphy and the MVP?
Do you think he got robbed by not getting it?
They didn't announce the MVP yet.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to get it. I think aren't all the experts, if you will, leaning towards Harper getting it?
No, Harper's got no shot. He only batted like 260.
Who do you think is going to be the NL MVP then?
Daniel Murphy.
Oh, really? So pundits on Twitter were saying the opposite.
Well, it's going to come down to Daniel Murphy, Chris Bryant, or Anthony Rizzo. And Rizzo and Bryant are probably going to cancel each other out because they're on the same team, I would think. And Nolan Arenado had a great season with Colorado, but obviously they were not that great of a team this year.
Do you think, depending on what the Cubs do, could sort of lead to that?
I don't think so, because if I remember correctly, the All-Star voting had to be, the award voting for all the awards had to be in by yesterday afternoon. So the postseason shouldn't play a factor, I don't think, unless they change the rules.
Well, that's actually probably better. Do you really think Daniel Murphy's going to win it, though? I don't know. Something about it makes me
it would make sense to me to have the best player who is most valuable to his team win. Really, where would the Nationals have been this season without him right behind Bryce Harper?
No, really. Imagine where this Met team would be with him in the middle of the lineup.
I tell you this, so they wouldn't be in this game right now. They'd be getting ready to play Friday against the Dodgers.
Who do you think then that, all right, so let's just play what if. Say, what if the Mets do win tonight? Do you think that they have a chance to actually beat Chicago again?
I don't think so. Not this year. Because I will say this, the Mets do pose the biggest threat to the Cubs because mentally in their heads, they know last year they couldn't get a hit off of them. However, this year, you're really not talking about anybody crazy here that's going to be able to shut the Cubs down. So I thought Bartolo was going to pitch Game 1 in the DS if they make it. But I'm hearing that they're going to go with Gisselman in Game 1. Why does that make any sense? Cologne's fully rested. So I think the Cubs, they'll be more than happy to have John Lester go up against Robert Gisselman in Game 1. All right, let's read some comments from the chat here. Grump44 says, I have an attitude problem. I got told I have an attitude problem. I don't have an attitude problem. They got a perception problem. And Hopper says, I hear ya. And Grump said, haven't had this so much fun since. Wait, that was a bad example. I'll get back with you on that. So it seems we have lost John once again. And it's really unfortunate. So we apologize for what's probably been our worst show ever. to this point because we're really not able to start up a conversation here. But back to the Mets game for those of you not watching. Bumgarner 15-9 in the season with a 2.74 ERA. Another news for those hockey fans out there, 2015 first overall pick Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers, who is 19 years old, think about that, has been named the captain of his team, the youngest captain in the history of hockey, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. 19-year-old, dressed insane. So that's probably like a kid that's born in, the late 90s. Well, and that's just, it's also crazy to think about college football, how young these guys are now, the NFL. The average NHL player is probably like 26, which is hard to believe, but the average career span in the NFL is, in fact, only 3 years, which is pretty crazy. So now, what we always do here is we do like to go through the NFL schedule, and let's take a look to recap first Week 4 in the NFL. And we started off on Thursday night, and the Bengals destroyed the Dolphins. It's very crazy to think just how bad the Dolphins' offense is when Adam Gase, who they got to come be their coach, is supposed to be this offensive guru. Last year he was in Chicago with John Fox. Part of that, he was with the Broncos. But the Dolphins' offense just can't get going this year. And if not for 3 missed field goals by Cody Parkey in Week 3 on the Browns, the Dolphins wouldn't even have a chance to go to overtime to beat them. So, you have the Bengals. They won. The next game was the 9 a.m. game, which is an absolute disgrace. There shouldn't be any morning games in the NFL, especially in London. Nobody's going there. Nobody's watching. So why are they having them? Nonetheless, the Jaguars did win 30-27, and man, the Colts are in trouble, man. 1-3 on the season, tied. Well, they're in last place because the Jaguars are also 1-3, but obviously in the tiebreaker. And now you see just how bad the Colts' offensive line is, how bad their offensive weapons are, the fact that their defense isn't any good. They've taken steps backward, and it's a real shame because Andrew Luck, he's definitely one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And you better hope that he performs like it anyway because he's the highest paid player in the league. But they're in last place, the Colts. Then, 1 o'clock games. Texans beat the Titans. It was a close game. Not much to say there. The Titans aren't any good. Texans bounced back after getting shut out from Patriots. Then another wild game was the Falcons and Matt Ryan throwing 500 yards. Julio Jones catching over 300 yards worth of passes and a touchdown as the Falcons beat the defending NFC champion Panthers, who they're in trouble as well, 1-3. Not looking good in Carolina, and their quarterback Cam Newton, he received a concussion in that game. He's out of the NFL concussion protocol at this point. The biggest shocker of the day was the Bills shut out the Patriots. Now, the Patriots went 3-1 without Brady, so they should be pretty happy about that. But very surprising to see them get shut out from the Bills. But I guess credit goes to Rex Ryan getting those Bills back to 2-2 on the season. But the thing to remember here is Brady will be back this Sunday, and he's taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Browns lost yet again to the Redskins this week, 31-20. Brady's going to have a huge first day, especially for your fantasy owners out there. For some reason, Brady's available in your league. Pick him up right away. The guy is probably going to have an easy 20 points, and you could just almost bank on that. The Browns have given up at least 2 touchdowns to each quarterback that they've faced this season, and that trend will likely continue. Those poor Browns fans endlessly suffering. And then you move on in the AFC. And the AFC East in particular, you had the Jets get killed by the Seahawks 27-17. Anybody who thought the Jets were going to win this game, you're absolutely crazy. Ryan Fitzpatrick struck again, throwing some more interceptions this week. The Jets' defense didn't look good. They get destroyed. I was very happy. And, John, if you're there, did you have any take on this? Did you feel that the Jets got what they deserved, or how did you feel about that? Did you feel that they are who we thought they were, or that they just pretty much were terrible? I really don't know. It's hard to say. So, looks like we still don't have John right now. And it's a real shame, because John, he would have a lot to say about this discussion here. Once again, folks, we apologize for the technical difficulties. And at this time, we are going to step aside and
it's showing working on my end. For whatever reason, I don't know why it's not working on his. Nick, are you there? Nope. Nick, can you hear me?
yes.
Yeah, so I don't know. This is some stupid fucking update that my computer did. For whatever reason, I have to hold the button down if I want to talk. But whatever, let's try to power through it. Did you see that that the Colts cut Cromartie for not standing during the Pledge of Allegiance? Dick.
I didn't see that, but that's very interesting.
Well, it's not that he got cut directly because of that, but it was the day after he decided to do his little, Kaepernick impression. He got cut.
How about that? And something that's interesting is that NFL ratings are down across the board this year. People are actually saying, it's people protesting Kaepernick. That's not happening. What people don't realize is that we're in a new era with technology, and the NFL even promotes, watch our game on the NBC Sports app. Watch on ESPN, the ESPN app. So I don't know why they're surprised that the ratings are going down when people are just watching the games through other mediums, such as you watching this playoff game through your phone.
I would say that's something to do with it, but I would also say the fact that this presidential election is getting so many views that it really is. It's biting into the ratings of other stuff.
That's the crazy thing, that the debate, the first debate went against Monday Night Football, and then the next debate is going against Sunday Night Football. I don't know about you. I know you're very into politics. I won't be watching the second of the next debate because I'm going to be watching the New York Giants taking on the Packers on Sunday Night Football.
I'm probably gonna go back and forth. But in reality, that debate is must watch television at this point. There's only 34 days to go. It's high drama. It's great TV. It's. Did you watch the debate last night by chance?
Just a few minutes. I wasn't really interested, honestly, because Kane, he has really no say in their campaign at all. So I have nothing against Kane, really, because he's just somebody Hillary picked. Pence seems like a good guy. He was saying all the right things when I was listening, and but I didn't really watch it. From what I could gather while watching was that, as usual, the fix was in, and they were kept interrupting Pence.
Yeah, he was really just going after him, trying to get him to, oh, where's Trump's taxes, blah, 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 blah. But in reality, came off really coached, really childish. Mike Pence seemed like the mature adult at the table, why Tim Kaine looked like a creepy weirdo who kept bringing it up. And even the Democratic pundits said that, he sort of overstated himself a little bit. And then, because he came off so bad, all the talking heads were, the vice president debate really doesn't. It doesn't matter because basically, just because our guy didn't win, it must not actually matter. But no one cares because creepy Tim Kaine didn't win. But, I would tell everyone out there who's in the thought that, it's the vice president debate, that it doesn't really matter, is to look at Hillary Clinton's health. And listen, this creepy guy from Virginia might end up becoming the president because of that. So probably take a much bigger look at it than we are.
Well, how about Gary Johnson saying that there's a very good chance that because of him getting his problem, he thinks he's going to get 5 electoral votes from Las Vegas or something, that there would actually not be a winner in the election. Nobody's going to get 270 electoral votes, which would then go to the House of Representatives. And if they can't decide on a winner, then Congress will vote on who would be the winner, and that would come down to Pence and Kaine would be the two picks. Trump and Hillary would be out, and then one of those two would become president.
The chances of that happening are so minute. Even if it did at 269 each and went to the House of Representatives, Trump would win because the Republicans have a majority. So it's very unlikely, and that hasn't happened, I don't think, ever. But if it did happen, that'd be the Trump victory. Honestly, I would say right now that there's a lot of quote-unquote closet Trump fans. Like take me, for example. When I'm at work, I pretend like I'm not voting for anybody, If they really push me for it, I might say Gary.
I can't stand, so me and you, obviously, we're from Staten Island. We're a red state, a red city. Going to work is so annoying with all these freaking people. And yesterday, I got these 2 girls behind me talking about how they love Hillary and they've been with Hillary since the beginning. I was just like, oh my God, it's so hard for me to bite my tongue at work.
Me too. I'm in the fashion industry, core liberals or whatever, and if you ask me at work, who you're voting for, I might say Gary Johnson, just so that you'll leave me alone. Because if I say Trump, it'll be bad for my career, and people will go fucking nuts. And I think there's a lot of that people aren't, that pundit class isn't really taking into account, and that's why Trump does so well on online polls and go, that's online trolls, blah 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 blah. That might be it to a point, but in reality, I would say that it's a lot more people who are pro-Trump than are willing to let on over it. But I will tell you this. 2 different occasions in New Jersey today, I saw Hillary for prison stickers on cars, which I was very happy to see. When I first saw it, I thought it was Hillary for president, but it actually said Hillary for prison.
That's funny. So lots to go on with politics. Obviously, Sunday, the debate. I'm sure Andrew will watch. I'll call on next Wednesday. You'll be watching a good amount, but I'm sure you'll get the recap online. And we'll definitely recap it next Wednesday. But who's moderating this debate?
2 people, Anderson Cooper and someone else. They're both from CNN, though.
So I expect more of the same, where there'll be layup softball questions for Hillary, and a Syndergaard heat coming at Trump with these stupid questions that are meaningless.
Well, I will have to say one thing about Anderson Cooper. I'm not a huge fan. I think he is very biased when it comes to stuff. But his brand is more important than this election, meaning that he wants to try to get his own network. He wants to make himself bigger. So he will ask Hillary hard questions. And after she collapsed, he was one of the few talking heads in the mainstream media that actually asked her, a couple hard questions. So hopefully he'll try to, maybe not gotcha question, but bring up something like the email scandal or her health or the Clinton Foundation or what these leaks are coming out. Maybe just ask her something else other than, hey, Trump, 20 years ago you called a woman fat. Do you remember that? Like, who gives a shit? How about 20 years ago when Hillary's husband was out raping people?
We're going to see if Trump brings it up this time.
And when people try to say like, well, Trump's divorced twice, so he can't talk about Bill Clinton. Like, time out. Bill Clinton wasn't just cheating on his wife; he was sexually harassing and sexually assaulting women. He had to give Jennifer Flowers $950,000 because he sexually harassed her. That's a big difference than having a girlfriend. And then he was impeached. Why do we never bring that up? Why does no one ever bring up the fact that he was impeached?
I don't know. People act like Clinton was a saint. He was the best president ever. Very flawed man.
And Hillary, that hypocrite that she is, she tries to talk about how she's so pro-women, but women that she went after her husband assaulted them, she assaulted their character to try to knock them out. And it turned out a lot of them, it was true. They weren't just money-hungry crazies that were chasing her husband. Their husband was a sexual deviant. Today there was a release of footage of Bill Clinton groping a stewardess on an airplane. What the hell, man?
Jeez Louise. Hillary just stood by his side because she just always had a plan to get to the White House, and she's, that's why she stuck by him, I guess. Now, I mentioned this last week as a little quick joke, but now did you hear how Yoko Ono actually, she came out and said it, that she had an affair with Hillary Clinton in the 70s. Did you hear about that?
I have heard about that. And that's another thing that people allude to, that Hillary is a secret lesbian, and she's actually, in bed with Huma Abedin.
Maybe she's, is that Wiener's ex-wife?
Yeah. Who's also involved with the Muslim Brotherhood and was the publisher at a Islamic paper that is pro-Sharia and pro-honor killings and things of that nature for women.
Wow, that's pretty nuts. So, before we lost you, I was talking a little about the NFL. So, let's talk about how awful the Giants are and their terrible defense and the fact that Ben McAdoo does not know how to manage a clock and the fact that he calls terrible plays and he only targeted the best receiver in football 8 times, and 3 of the times Eli either overthrew him or just barely made it to him with the one hand. And we could also talk about how bad Eli was in this game. He missed Shepard wide open over the middle. He didn't throw the ball at him. He threw it to the floor. Every time there was a little bit of pressure, instead of trying to do a screen or something, Eli would just spike it on the ground, just wasted the downs. And just, McAdoo was his decision making is not good. The start of the game, driving downfield, could have went for a 55-yard field goal indoors in a dome, and they decided to punt the ball. All downhill from there.
My number one problem is the fact that McAdoo doesn't have them under wraps. The amount of penalties we've gotten, which have been stupid, unforced errors, is it's crazy.
Eric Flowers is a penalty walking machine now.
How about this though? Wade as the corner, he's getting called for stupid penalties, and he can't cover. He can't cover wide receivers. He can't cover tight ends. Why is he out there? Why?
Well, first of all, he's a third stringer, so he's out there because everyone's hurt. That goes against Jerry Reese right there. Otherwise, he'd be on special teams. That bum Adams, who had the penalty on the block 2 weeks ago, was actually starting at safety. That was a freaking joke. The defense sucked, but the offense was awful.
Well, you know what? The offense was awful. I will give you that. But overall, I thought there were some bright spots in the offense. I thought that Daquan and Paul actually showed some, nice little signs. The real problem is discipline, which is crazy because that was such a cornerstone of a Coughlin team. I think the Giants went about this all wrong. Because now, look, if we have a bad year this year, you're going to have to fire Jerry Reese. Jerry Reese has built a bad team, and his number one draft picks the last 3 years, the last 5, 6 years, outside of Odell Beckham, none of them have paid. None of them are even players in this league. It's insane.
Yeah, Justin Pugh is the only guy that's actually still in the Giants.
Yeah, but he's not. He's not a Pro Bowler or anything.
Right.
They took what? They took a right tackle, 6th overall, and he was an all-right starter in the league. That's not how it's supposed to go. If you look at their line and the fact that they've gone top 10 twice at 2 different positions, they should have a really good offensive line.
And what's crazy is that Linval Joseph destroyed the Giants' running game last night on Monday, and the Giants kept running at him. That was actually a good pick by Reese. They got him in a later round, and then Jerry let him go because he didn't want to pay him.
So, besides just the picks, the free agent management of this team has been very, very bad as well. And I don't understand the way the Giants did this. Listen, if you're gonna fire Coughlin, because that's essentially what you did, that's so wrong though, because they fired all his coordinators, they brought in McAdoo before giving him the head coach job, which was stupid to do. But so now this year, just say the Giants 6-10, which is very likely, you gotta fire McAdoo, right? You gotta fire Reese. But are you gonna fire Reese, bring in another GM, and say, hey, no, McAdoo's your guy? What do you do? Or do you just let them be bad for another year?
Reese has got to go, and I don't know. Do you force somebody? Maybe they force somebody to keep McAdoo. They might promote from within, because that's what they did last time. That's how Jerry Reese got the job.
Yeah, but that's it's hard to change, to get a real change when you do something like that. Also, from what I've seen so far this year, is it's not McAdoo's system that's not working. It's McAdoo not being, he's not Tom Coughlin. This team is undisciplined.
Well, this is what the problem is. McAdoo's calling these plays, and literally, I really think literally, he calls the play. Not once on Monday night did Eli run the play. He did an audible every single time on the line. The old Eli's back. The play clock dropped down to 2 seconds, 1 second, which gives the Vikings a jump start on the blitz, because they don't have to really watch the clock or the center. They can just see the clock actually and say, oh, it's about to turn 0. Let me start running now. Gives them the advantage. That's how they stop the run and get to Eli. So what is McAdoo calling that Eli audibles out of? Sometimes it should be as simple as, oh, I don't know, Odell Beckham Jr. just caught 3 passes in a row and is fired up. Maybe we should try throwing the ball to him in the end zone. But instead they say, let's throw a fade to a 5'8" running back and bow your ankles.
Yeah, who's not, and he's not in here to change the league. Bobby Rainey's bounced around the league as a free agent. He's a journeyman backup at best. He's nothing to write home about. This roster has a lot of holes, but on the same note, I have to agree with you. His play calling has been really, really terrible. He has a really great receiving core, and he's not getting anything out of it, and that's his fault.
Well, looking ahead to the draft here, I saw the mock draft today because I work at the mock draft department. I worked at the draft department on my job and fantasy department, and the current mock draft has the Giants taking Christian McCaffrey in the first round. Do you know who he is? From Stanford.
No idea.
Okay, so last year he set the NCAA record as a sophomore for the most all-purpose yards in a single season. This guy returns punts, he's a running back, and he's a great receiving running back, and he finished second in the Heisman last year.
Nice. Where do you have the Giants picking that they'll be able to get him?
Currently, the Giants are 19th in the draft because they're 2-2. So I think they'll definitely move up, probably.
Yeah, I know it's still early, so a lot of things can change, especially all around the league. But this defense, and I think this offense will get better. Just they have enough talent. And the backup running backs are actually playing pretty well.
Let's hope so. As Bumgarner hits it to the warning track, but luckily Granderson's able to catch it, and it's 0-0 after 2 1/3 innings.
Like I was saying, though, what do you do if this defense is just terrible the rest of the year? at the end of the year, do you keep Reese and just fire? Is it Spagnola's fault though? Like, look at this roster.
I mean, you've seen what he can do with good, average defensive players.
This roster
can't play with terrible players.
This roster is really, really bad. You got outside of like the defensive line, which is pretty decent, but not overpowering the way it used to be, but just decent. The linebacking core kind of sucks. The secondary is like a fucking disaster. Why don't we re-sign Mukamara?
Beats me. Definitely could have used him. So we're talking NFL here. Why don't we do our NFL picks here? Since I think it might see a little change in the trend this week if you pick the Giants every week. But we'll see. We'll get to that game. Thursday night, you got the Cardinals versus the 49ers in San Francisco. But Carson Palmer is officially out with a concussion.
Ooh. Who are the Cardinals playing again?
Cardinals are playing at the San Francisco 49ers.
That's a real suck-off. I'm going Cardinals anyway.
Yep, I agree with you. Texans are going to Minnesota to take on the Vikings.
I'm going Texans. I just saw Minnesota. We made Sam Bradford look like freaking Tom Brady. There's no reason for that. They're not that good.
Yeah, definitely going to go with the Texans as well. The Bears and the Colts, the battle of the last place teams.
Oh, wow. And the Bears are without their running back and starting quarterback. So I'm going.
Yeah, I think the Colts will rally to win this one somehow. Titans and the Dolphins.
Oh, yuck. I guess Dolphins?
Sure. I don't know. This one can go either way. Let's go with a tie. Eagles and Lions. I hope the Lions can win.
I'm going Lions. I'm going Theo Riddick's going to have 300 all-purpose yards.
That would be nice. This game here, the Redskins are going to take on the Baltimore Ravens. So it's the battle of the Virginia, D.C., Baltimore area.
They call it the Battle of the Beltway because it's the D.C. Beltway that connects the two cities.
All right. So who do you got in that?
I'm going Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ravens too. Joe Flacco is going to be throwing the ball all over the Redskins. The Redskins are one of the worst teams in stopping the pass, unless, of course, taking out Eli and the Giants. Eli likes to throw picks. Now, here's two games that I'm very interested in. The first game would be the New York Jets. They're going to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Will Ryan Fitzpatrick be back at it again, John?
Absolutely. They're terrible, and I'm going with Ben Roethlisberger to win the day.
And you got Le'Veon Bell on your fantasy team, don't you?
No, I don't.
Oh, I thought you had him or something. Well, he came back, and him, Antonio Brown, and Roethlisberger were pretty damn good the other night. And they're going to destroy the Jets. The Jets are not good. Not good at all. And now this game here, John, I know it's going to be very, very tough to pick. Tom Brady and the New England Patriots are taking on the Cleveland Browns.
I'm going with Tom Brady. And not only is he going to win this game, but he's going to embarrass the NFL for trying to sit him out. I could see him throwing the ball 45 times, completing 40 of those passes for like 400 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Absolutely. It's going to be a crazy day. For those Julian Edelman fantasy owners, you can expect him to bounce back this week. Amendola, hell of a big game. If Gronk's playing, his fantasy value is going up. I think LeGarrette Blount, who's been the best running back in the NFL so far, his numbers are going to go up as well, because now instead of everybody stacking the box with 7 defenders, the field will be open up. This is going to be a massacre. It's going to be, oh man, the Patriots might score 40 points, and the Browns can maybe get like 10 if they're lucky.
Yeah, and especially coming off of a loss that that Belichick's not happy about, they're going to be really prepared. And fuck.
Yeah.
You only just grounded into a double play.
I see. I got hit, but hey, you know what? Judica did the same thing. So no points here right now because it's expected against Baumgartner. The next game here, which is of interest to us, the Bengals are going to be going to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. I got Andy Dalton, AJ Green, and the Bengals beating the Cowboys.
How good is AJ Green? Jesus, that guy's a beast. I'm going the same. And actually, a little surprise factor. That's going to be the first week that Tyler Eifert's going to be back, and he's going to tear up. He's going to have like a crazy good day.
Well, we will see if Tyler Eifert plays because he's been injured all year, and hopefully gets back on the field. It'll definitely help the Bengals. This is an intriguing game here. The Chargers are going to take on the Oakland Raiders.
Going Raiders.
Yep, the Raiders, as we all remember, were one of my playoff picks for this season, and so far so good. They're 3-1, their best start since like 2003 when they went to the Super Bowl or something like that. I feel bad for Phillip Rivers though. He lost all of his offensive weapons. He's a great quarterback, and it's a real shame that he has never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you know what? He's one of those guys that I'm surprised hasn't been, kind of floated out there. Like, listen, for like a first round pick, and then get something in return, and try to rebuild from there. Because listen, if I'm a team like, great example, if I'm a team like Minnesota, instead of going out and getting Sam Bradford, who's essentially a broke dick, he's gonna get hurt. Like, it just you can tell. Why not go out and get Phillip Rivers and make yourself?
Well, the problem there is that first of all, Rivers has spoken out about how he doesn't want to leave San Diego. He's got his whole family there, his wife's family is there. He doesn't want to uproot them. And the thing with the Vikings, why they wouldn't work out, is because next year, no matter what, even if the Vikings win the Super Bowl with Sam Bradford, Teddy Bridgewater is going to start. So Rivers would have none of that.
All right. Well, how about somebody like the Jets?
I don't think he'd want to go to the Jets.
But somebody that has a good team that is probably a quarterback away. Listen, the Jets.
All right. So like the Dolphins.
The Dolphins' defense is suck, but look at the Jets have a very nice receiving core. The idea that a quarterback like Phillip Rivers would have a really big impact for them.
The Jets should get Jay Cutler next year. He'd be a perfect Jet quarterback.
Yeah, he has like the right Jet attitude.
Absolutely, and him and Brandon Marshall, third time to charm, like every teammate once again. Let's see here. The Bills are going to Los Angeles to take on the Rams.
I'm going Bills, man. The Rams have been a real disappointment for me this year.
Yeah, and you have the Rams going to the Super Bowl or the playoffs at least, right?
The playoffs, not the Super Bowl, but yeah, I thought they were going to be
sometime after getting destroyed in the first week of Monday Night Football. But I agree. I think the Bills will win. They're on a roll. It'll be 3 in a row now, coming off that shutout of the Patriots. We'll go to the Monday night game first. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or as my friend who is a Bucs fan calls them, the Succaneers, are going to be in Carolina to take on the Panthers. Cam Newton may not play due to concussion.
I'm still going with Carolina because is Jimmy Clausen still the backup there? I'm not even sure.
The Panthers' backup is Derek Anderson. He had 2 touchdowns off the bench last week against the Falcons, and he also had 2 interceptions.
I'm still going with them. I think Jameis Winston needs to stop stealing so many freaking.
Jameis Winston has been like he must have been trained with Fitzpatrick in the offseason because lots of interceptions this season. And apparently Dirk Cutter, the coach of the Buccaneers, is very concerned. And so Jameis, you better get it together, man. You got to stop making these terrible throws. So I'll agree. The Panthers will win. We'll leave it with this. You got the New York Giants going to Lambeau in Green Bay to take on Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson, and the Green Bay Packers. I think Rodgers is going to have an absolute field day. He can't wait to verse the Giants' defense this week. And I think the Giants, they might be a little better offensively this week, but I'd say they're still going to lose by at least 10 points.
That's probably pretty accurate. That secondary is a real big but is this. If we could get to Rodgers and force him, I think we might be able to outgun them in this game. I'm actually going to pick the Packers as well, but only because the Giants they haven't shown me anything this year. But I think that there's always a puncher's chance. You never know. That's why they play the games.
Yep, you never know. Hopefully one of these days the offense shows up. And if you look at the Giants' schedule and who they have coming up, things really aren't getting any easier for this. They got the Packers, great team. Then they got the Ravens, who are first place. You got the Rams, who are somehow first place. The Eagles, who are in first place. Then the Bengals, who are a very good team. So the next easy opponent you got is November 20th. You're taking on the Bears. Then next week you get to versus the Browns. Very tough stretch coming up here.
I'm not worried about the Rams or the Eagles. They're both pretenders. They're not really good teams. They're just...
Well, here's the thing about the Rams game, though. It's at 9:30 a.m. in London. So that's why you never really know what's going to go on in London.
Who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Rams that day?
Case Keenum, who's been great so far.
Great my ass. They're going down.
Well, maybe Jared Goff will play by then. Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah, no, I'm not a believer in the Rams at all. I'm not. I thought they would get, because they're in LA, they'd get some sort of like magic about them. But I'm not a believer anymore.
Well, unfortunately, the Giants are looking at 6-10, 7-9. But we'll say top of the fourth in the Mets game. Noah Syndergaard just lost the perfect game. He walked Denard Span, and any minute now Denard Span will be on third base after stealing second and third. So I'm very worried about this inning here. And Tyler Eifert officially just ruled out this Sunday. He had a setback, and he will not be playing against the Cowboys. What a shame.
Damn it. Doesn't really matter too much. AJ Green will just catch fucking 60 passes.
Yeah, he's been great. He's definitely been great.
He embarrassed Revis in week 1, like completely embarrassed him. Couldn't believe it.
Absolutely. So let's see real quick. Well, we have just like a minute left. In the AL, it's all set here. Red Sox, Indians, you got the Red Sox winning, obviously. Blue Jays and Rangers, who do you have winning that series? A rematch of last year as ALDS.
Blue Jays.
All right. I think the Blue Jays as well. Another basketball news, preseason started yesterday, couldn't care less. But Zach Randolph from the Grizzlies, former Knick, is actually going to come off the bench this season. Did you watch any of the Knicks yesterday?
Of course not, but I did tweet Joakim Noah. Did you read it?
I did not, but I'm sure not anything kind.
No. So Joakim Noah decided that he wanted a breakfast at West because he's anti-war or some bullshit. Like, you're such a fucking dick, man. Just go there, you eat breakfast, the photo op. It's no big fucking deal. Why are you going to be an asshole about it?
I also saw that he actually was meeting with active service members, and there were some pictures of that. So I don't know when that was, but he was in a Knicks uniform. It was at the Knicks practice facility. He was greeting them. But I don't know about that. We'll have to look more into that. But did you kind of get to see Odell Beckham Jr. yesterday shaking every single Army personnel's hand before the game on Sunday?
Very cool. I really, I think is getting a little bit of a bad rap right now because in reality, he's a really good guy. I really like him.
All right, that's really just going to do it for our show tonight. Sorry for the technical difficulties. And as Denard Span steals second, just as I predicted, actually he's thrown out. How about that?
Aha.
So let's go Mets. Let's go Mets.